With the WINN FM News, I am Kevin Brown.
And I am Yolana Weeks.
Our top stories.
The Nevis Mango Festival returns in 2025 with increased momentum from the 2024 hosting.
New pension plan under fire. Harris calls it unfair at recent town hall. Embezzlement charge laid against Bird Rock resident. Lawson Hendrickson, convicted of grievous bodily harm with intent, receives suspended sentence.
A region united in celebration. The OECS marks 44 years of regional unity with reflection, movement, and community spirit across OECS member states under the theme Adapting, Innovating, Sustaining, a unified OECS for a changing world.
Internationally, Iran has fired a salvo of missiles in Qatar, targeting the U.S. airbase situated in the country.
Now, the details.
The Nevis Tourism Authority, in collaboration with the Nevis Island Administration and the Ministry and Department of Agriculture, is prepared to host the highly anticipated Nevis Mango Festival from July 3 to 6. The Nevis Tourism Authority's Director of Sales and Marketing, Mr. Fayon Jones, joined Premier Mark Brantley on the Mark show on June 18 to discuss and promote the event. Jones said, from indications received, increased patronage of the Nevis Mango Festival is expected in 2025.
Last year we had a 10-year celebration of the Nevis Mango Festival, and just to be exact, 2,536 persons showed up and had a great time on the Sunday event, which is for the love of mangoes, and overall 3,800 persons showed up for the festival for the 10th celebration. From the indications we're looking right now, it seems that we're going to surpass those numbers from last year, and we're looking to possibly have over 3,000 persons on that Sunday and over 4,000 persons overall in the festival.
The opening of the Nevis Mango Festival will be held on July 3, 2025, 9:30 a.m. at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park. The opening ceremony will be followed by a panel discussion hosted by celebrity chef Brian Terry between 10:45 a.m. and 12:30 p.m.
Now, what is interesting about this panel discussion, it will be led by our celebrity chef. His name is Chef Brian Terry, and he is from the Bay Area, Oklahoma, in the U.S., and he's a very intellectual guy. He's actually an author as well, and we are going to be on the topic of not only mangoes, but healthy living and a healthy lifestyle. I know that my fellow Nevisians and Kititians are very accustomed to eating from the land and eating very healthy. So we're not just jumping on a wagon, we've been on this course. So it's just more promoting and reminding us that eating from the earth is a good way to go, and it keeps us healthy and essentially keeps us going.
On Friday, July 4, the day will be spent at Ubrenta, an establishment by the old Sea Bridge. It will kick off with a masterclass headed by Chef Brian Terry. Though already sold out, Jones encouraged the people to attend the masterclass and take a taste of the prepared dishes. Immediately following the masterclass, the popular family-friendly event Mango Mania will get underway at Ubrenta. Jones shared the trick to remember when stoning mangoes. The cost to get into Ubrenta is EC $10.
At 12:30, we will have the Mango Mania. This is a family-friendly afternoon. You will have your mango eating competition. You will have your mixologist competition. You'll have your mango stoning competition, your tug-of-war. You'll have various arts and crafts. And, it's a great day just for enjoyment. You could bring your children, bring your parents, your grandparents, whoever it is. Just come out and have a day filled with fun at Ubrenta. That event starts at 12:30 and ends around 5 p.m. Now, one of the interesting and I guess one of my favorite events on that afternoon will be the mango stoning competition. It gives me the opportunity to see who has grown up inside or outside. So, yes, I'll be there taking my notes, but I encourage you to come out and give it a shot. We know the trick to it is to hit the stem and not the mango, as you don't want to damage the fruit.
At 7 p.m. on July 4, there will be a mango bar crawl at Pinnis Beach, Nevis. Patrons will have an opportunity to purchase mango-infused cocktails at a cost of EC $15.
We will be having the mango crawl, as we say locally, the mango walk, because of the proximity of the bars. They're very close, and all of the bars will be participating. They will be having their various mango-infused cocktails. The price point is only $15, 15 EC dollars for the drinks that you're purchasing at the various bars. You're able to either come on down and go to the bar at your own leisure, each bar on your own, or you can join the bar walk crawl at 7 p.m. So I encourage everyone again to go to www.nevismangofest.com. Again, www.nevismangofest.com, and get your tickets for those events that I've mentioned thus far.
On the third day of the 4-day Nevis Mango Festival, the Passport Food Tour will be held. Participants would be on a tour to several restaurants around Nevis to sample mango-infused dishes. There are different packages available for the tour.
Now on day 3, July 5th, we will have the Passport Food Tour, and this begins at 11:30 a.m. This is where we will be going through the island on an island tour, but it's in a twist. You will be going to various restaurants and sampling mango-infused dishes. Now, there's 3 packages that we offer for this excursion. The first one is 100 EC dollars. You will get your shirt, your bottle, and you would drive your own car, and you're able to go to the various stops or restaurants on your own time, and you get a passport. Once you go to these restaurants and you purchase what they have for 10 EC dollars, they will give you a stamp within your passport. The second package is EC 125. You will also get a passport, the shirt, the bottle, and you would jump on a safari or party bus, and you would venture through the island to the various restaurants with Nevis Tourism Authority. And as you stop at the various stops, you will get your stamps, and it's just a fun vibe essentially. And the third package is 175, and all these prices are EC. And the 175 includes the boat fare, so that's coming to Nevis and returning back to St. Kitts. You will also get the party bus or the safari and the paraphernalia, as I mentioned previously.
For the love of mangoes, the biggest event of the Nevis Mango Festival was scheduled for July 6 at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park on the lawn. Scores of chefs will be present to market their mango-infused prepared dishes. The event will also include a cooking competition, kids entertainment, and a cultural explosion showcasing local folklore and talent.
We have over 50 chefs preparing various mango-infused samples. You would have your fish, your chicken, your seafood boil. I heard someone say mango chewing gum. I'm not certain of all of the dishes that's going to be there, but I know it's going to be something to behold. It is a lot of samples, a lot of good times. You're going to have a folklore there during the day, so you get to see your masquerade, your makajumbi. We're also having the kids zone again return, face painting.
The headliners for the Mango concert are Denise Gordon, Abena Amory, Kenny Easy Warner, Greenhouse Band, Garlic and the Upper Level Band, and Mark and the Ivy Band, alongside multiple DJs. VIP will return in 2025, provided by Carambola at EC $450. The VIP package also includes 5 tickets for the grounds. Children ages 6 to 11 are allowed 3 samples at $30. Children 5 and under are free. There is a Limers package for persons who do not want to partake in the samples, which costs 50 EC dollars. For the sample tickets, 5 samples, EC $90. 10 samples, EC $115, and 15 samples, EC $135.
The recently passed Pensions Amendment Bill 2025, intended to introduce a contributory pension plan for government auxiliary employees, GAEs, and other civil servants, has drawn sharp criticism from the Honorable Dr. Timothy Harris, leader of the People's Labour Party. Dr. Harris, who previously served as Prime Minister from 2015 to 2022, leading the Team Unity coalition, has publicly stated that this new pension plan is not for the people, it's for the political elite. During a recent town hall meeting, the former Prime Minister suggested that ordinary workers are being asked to give more and get less, while top officials walk away with padded benefits.
One of the speakers before me, and I'm wrapping up now, spoke to the whole issue of unfairness in the civil service. Nowhere is it more demonstrated than in the new pension plan. Imagine under this new plan, which they want to force down the throat of the civil servants, require them to work 40 years before they can qualify for maximum pension. Under the existing one, you could go 29 years and 11 months and you get your benefits and you go at 55. So here now you have to sweat, work hard under this government that doesn't treat its workers right, that people who have political power want to embarrass those on the low ranks. You have to stand up to them. Now you have to pay 3% of your salary for pension. Those before 2012 don't have to pay any, but they end up with a better gratuity and a better pension than you. How does that make sense? The government is taking you backwards. You have a chance to rescue yourself from this dilemma. Vote for the PLP candidate in every constituency. We want a clean sweep so that we can quickly correct the injustices, fix up your pension, and put you in a better position.
The Pensions Amendment Bill 2025 was passed by the National Assembly on April 30th, 2025 and aims to replace the outdated 1947 pension model with a contributory scheme. Prime Minister, the Honourable Dr. Terence Drew, leader of the St. Kitts and Nevis Labour Party, stated that the bill would guarantee GAE workers access to pensions after 15 years of service, ensuring they receive up to 100% of their income when combined with Social Security benefits. Prime Minister Drew emphasized that this reform is inclusive, covering all workers regardless of political affiliation, and is about ensuring workers can retire with dignity. He also noted that the labor movement has historically fought for workers' rights, bringing about democracy, Social Security, and universal education. However, Dr. Harris argues that the new plan places an unfair burden on civil servants, requiring them to contribute 3% of their earnings with no employer match for post-2012 hires. This contrasts with the previous system in which politicians received fully funded pensions without making personal contributions. Lawson Hendrickson recently appeared before the High Court, presided over by His Lordship Justice Ian Morley, KC, where he was convicted of the offence of inflicting grievous bodily harm with intent. The charge stemmed from an incident that occurred on April 13, 2023, during which Edward Halliday sustained serious injuries. Hendrickson pleaded guilty to the offence on November 22, 2024. Justice Ian Morley imposed a custodial sentence of 35 months, which was suspended to the strict condition that Hendrickson does not commit any further offences. The court emphasized that should this condition be breached, the original sentence will be activated. In addition to the custodial sentence, Justice Morley ordered Hendrickson to pay $75,000 in compensation to Halliday. The deadline for this compensation payment is set for December 20th, 2025. Failure to comply with this financial order will result in a 12-month imprisonment sentence. On June 21, 2025, officers of the Criminal Investigation Department of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force arrested and formally charged Ambarish Raj Jadhar of Bird Rock for the offence of embezzlement. The offence is alleged to have been committed on June 18, 2025. Investigations into the matter are ongoing. Further updates will be provided as necessary.
In regional news,
A region united in celebration. The OECS marks 44 years of regional unity with reflection, movement, and community spirit across OECS member states under the theme Adapting, Innovating, Sustaining, a Unified OECS for a Changing World. From gratitude to celebration, today we are taking you across the OECS region as the OECS marks 44 years of unity, service, and integration. I am Malika Thompson-Snack. Let's take a closer look at how the OECS celebrated this milestone. In a spirit of reverence, gratitude, reflection, and regional unity, the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States Commission successfully hosted a heartfelt Thanksgiving service on June 11, 2025, as part of its 44th anniversary celebrations. The service was held at the Benedictine Nuns' Mount of Prayer, Cubaral, St. Lucia, under the anniversary theme, Adapting, Innovating, Sustaining, a Unified OECS for a Changing World. It was also streamed live online and remains available for viewing, allowing individuals across the region to join in a shared moment of gratitude and celebration. In a moving address, Director General of the OECS, His Excellency Dr. Didacus Jules, reaffirmed the Commission's commitment to regional integration, unity, and public service, with a particular focus on serving and uplifting the poor and vulnerable.
So we are here to celebrate the 44th anniversary, and it's always a moment of praise and worship, of thanks to God for what He has done for us and through us, for the work that has been accomplished in the OECS. And we come well dressed today in honor of that moment. But notwithstanding the clothes that we wear, we always come before God naked. He doesn't see how finely dressed we are. He sees everything about ourselves that no one else can see. And so even while we give praise, it is an opportunity to reflect deeply on what have we done to fulfill His will in this organization and on behalf of our people.
In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, celebrations stepped into motion with the successful OECS in the Classroom School campaign. The school tour took place from June 11th to the 12th. St. Vincent Girls High School, Sion Hill Government School, St. Martin's Secondary School, and Questel's Government School were visited as part of the school tour. Students learned about the OECS and its work from staff of the OECS Commission, particularly regional integration and free movement. Students also had the opportunity to ask questions and share their ideas and views on regional integration. On Friday, June 13th, the OECS Commission unveiled a vibrant new billboard at the Arnos Vale roundabout in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The billboard was unveiled as part of the schedule of activities commemorating the OECS's 44th anniversary with the support of the OECS Regional Integration for Growth, Harmonization and Technology Program, also known as the RIGHT Program, as well as the International Organization for Migration, also known as IOM, and the Regional Integration and Diaspora Office in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The Agency for Public Information has more on this story.
The official and symbolic unveiling of the OECS Free Movement billboard happened earlier today at the roundabout in Arnos Vale. This initiative was part of the overall public engagement campaign aimed at increasing awareness of the public regarding their rights and benefits within the context of the Eastern Caribbean Economic Union. Loverly Anthony, head of communications, spoke of the importance of the month of June to the organization and the union.
June is a very special month for us at the OECS. It is our anniversary month, and the OECS was established on June 18, 1981, and this year we are celebrating 44 years of regional unity at that level. It is also important to note that on June 18, 2010, 7 heads of government of the OECS also signed a revised Treaty of Basse-Terre, establishing the OECS Economic Union and a deeper level of regional integration. The establishment of this economic space, this broader space, can be beneficial to all citizens of the OECS, and it is imperative that they know about these privileges, and this is why this billboard has been placed here today.
His Excellency Ambassador to CARICOM and the OECS Commissioner, Alan Alexander, spoke at the unveiling and noted,
"This billboard is more than a display. It is a declaration that as Vincentians, we belong to something larger, a shared community of opportunity, mobility, and unity. The message is clear. Vincentians, you have the right to move freely once you are in the OECS and a part of the member states of the OECS. With just your national ID, we can live, work, and travel across all member states without any borders, without barriers. This is what integration truly looks like. This billboard and the broader public awareness campaign it supports is an invitation to explore, to connect, and to make use of the full rights of the OECS as citizens of member states. As Commissioner, I reaffirm St. Vincent and the Grenadines' unwavering commitment to deepening OECS unity and integration.
Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Saboto Caesar, highlighted the work of the leaders who signed the Treaty of Basseterre.
I wish to recognize the hard work and dedication of the leaders who signed the Treaty of Basseterre and those who ensured that the treaty was revised and also signed the revised Treaty of Basseterre. Throughout the OECS sub-region, we have an excellent cadre of multi-talented, multifaceted citizens, and they continue to utilize the factors of production, land, labor, and capital for the development and advancement of our people. In particular, the youth of the OECS. I want to use this opportunity to encourage you to become more productive. We have seen many opportunities and possibilities in the aftermath of the removal of trade preferences. And we can all recall that period when member states of the OECS received the trade preferences, and quite recently we saw the total erosion in 2010 when we lost the trade preferences as it pertains to the banana industry. The farmers of the OECS, food producers, stakeholders, or fishers, we continue to work within this economic union to ensure that we have food and nutrition security, which is all part and parcel of our quest to engender food sovereignty.
OECS partner through the IOM, the United Nations Country Coordination Officer, Laflo Kwame, extended congratulations to the OECS and spoke of the significance of the OECS and free movement.
This is an important milestone that offers the opportunity for reflection on the shared journey of resilience, transformation, and sustained progress in uniting the citizens of the 12 member states. We also express our sincere appreciation to the OECS Commission for spearheading this initiative in promoting freedom of movement among the citizens of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We are honored that the United Nations Specialized Agency for Migration, IOM, has been invited to support this effort, an initiative that exemplifies the deepening partnerships between the OECS and the United Nations system. Today's unveiling of this billboard here at the roundabout in Annisvale is much more than a ceremonial act. It is a powerful emblem of movement, unity, and the rights that shape our identity as OECS citizens. And it is more than just an image on display. It is a reflection of our collective commitment to ensuring that mobility within the OECS is not just policy, but a lived experience built on dignity, opportunity, and inclusion. And so IOM is proud to stand alongside the OECS with this initiative as part of its broader mission in promoting safe, orderly, and regular migration in the Caribbean. This is a continuous collaboration between both entities that spans on key areas such as contingent rights policy, migration data, policy development, capacity building, and public awareness. So beyond today's ceremony, IOM and the wider United Nations development system reaffirms our commitment to the OECS and member states. Together, we will continue to ensure that migration serves as a bridge, one that connects people, strengthens economies, and fosters a future where dignity and opportunity are accessible to all.
For the API, I am Yinka Chambers.
On June 15th, the celebrations of the OECS kicked into high gear in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, with over 250 people registering and coming out to walk in the OECS 44th Anniversary Fun Walk. The event was successfully hosted by the OECS in collaboration with the Government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the IOM Caribbean Office, and the OECS Right Program. The 5.4-kilometer walk began at the Arnos Vale Stadium, following a scenic route and looping back to the starting point. The Fun Walk was held as part of the celebrations commemorating the 44th anniversary of the OECS and brought together government officials, dignitaries, and a large number of enthusiastic members of the public. The event aimed to raise awareness of the OECS regional integration and promote healthy lifestyles among citizens.
We now bring you these international reports.
Let's bring in Moran Bashawa. He's Al Jazeera's senior political analyst, joins us now from Paris. Now, as Dorsa was saying, the Al Udeid Air Base, Marwan, it's some 50 to 60 kilometres away from the urban area of Doha, Wakra, the built-up areas. However, in a country the size of Qatar, this attack is something that everybody in the country would have felt.
Well, it seems so from the text messages and the WhatsApps and what have you. Aside from that, and aside from the fact it's the first, it's quite surprising to most people. The idea that there's this little territory where the base is that's been leased to the U.S. government, it clearly signifies that it wasn't Qatari's sovereignty that was violated. It was an attack on a military base. And yet, it was important for the Qataris to make a point about that this is a violation of our sovereignty, least or otherwise, that the Iranians should not be carrying this kind of attack. And yet again, we also heard that they had an advance notice, that they certainly did not go beyond the vicinity of the base and so on and so forth. So I think that aspect of it, the aspect of the Qatar in the Iranian attack against an American base, I think that's going to prove more and more to be a detail, not an important. Not for the Qataris, it's important, of course. But I mean, in terms of the war, I think it's going to be made clear again and again, and the Iranians are apologizing again and again that this is not meant against Qatar.
One wonders, though, what the destabilizing effect will be across the region, because the Gulf countries pride themselves on stability, and that has now been rocked.
Well, yeah, there's no doubt about that. I mean, the big fear is not just that. It's not the response. It's the response to the response to the response to the response, right? I mean, because that's what you have. So already now we had, since April 2024, we've had now responses back and forth, right? And this now could accelerate and could speed up the idea of retaliation and counter-retaliation. I'm sure that's what they're discussing now at the White House, is how we're going to respond. And eventually this could actually go out of, whack, as it were. It could start getting more and more countries involved. But even for Iran itself, moving forward, I mean, we've seen this movie before, right? I mean, look at the 4 other countries that we've seen such interventions in: Iraq, Libya, Syria, Yemen. We're talking about not just hundreds of thousands of deaths. We're talking about millions of casualties. Millions of casualties. Just the past 20 years, these 4 main wars where there were attempts at regime change, basically leading to failed states, civil wars of sorts, and so on and so forth. And that's just 4. And we know how it was always snowballing, right? It starts with something, it goes to something else. Who would have predicted that we're going to have ISIS coming out of Iraq and Syria? Who would have predicted that there's going to be, a civil war, a sectarian war, conflicts in Iraq? Some of us did. We said, we warned back in 2002 and 2003 in the New York Times that this will happen. But of course, American elites, American establishment is so snob and apparently ahistorical that they don't seem to learn from the lessons of history. I doubt personally, Laura, that President Trump reads history. I doubt very much. I doubt that he read any book of history. He listens to Sunday sermons from evangelical preachers, the charismatic type, but I'm not sure he reads history. By the way, Netanyahu reads a lot of history. He's a ferocious reader of history, but that doesn't mean he concludes the right lessons of it, right? I mean, we know that Sharon, who was involved in the Gulf War back then, and then, in a little politicide in Palestine, had always the book, The Savage Wars of Peace, right next to him, which is about the colonial war against, Algeria that led to over 1 million deaths and, God knows how many casualties. But no one learns the lessons. The lessons been coming to us again and again and again. The French lost, the Americans lost, the British lost. Did I say the French? The Italian lost. And I think the Israelis eventually will end up losing. These are quick wins. But there are no victories in these wars. These are, words of poets.
And the problem is, I suppose, when we're looking at who is involved in this conflict, Donald Trump in the White House, Benjamin Netanyahu in Tel Aviv, in Israel, these are reactive people. Would they see this attack as a green light to go all out in Iran and go for the regime change that we've heard so much talked about over the past week?
It's a real possibility, especially as the war now continues to escalate, and as the Iranians have proven that they are, just as stubborn and just as steadfast and just as ready to sacrifice as they did during the Iraq-Iran war for 8 years. If you remember, you and I spoke, and I said the best thing they would do now is just not to respond, not even say anything, keep quiet. Right, but that's not their style, right? That's definitely not their style. But I think it's not just, of course, a question of style and being a bit facetious. I think they really care about their base and they care about what's going to happen in the country. And the only way to assure people that they remain bullish, not only vis-a-vis the outside, but also vis-a-vis the inside, so that chaos does not unravel, is to make clear to everyone that the regime is intact. It's responding to the world's leading superpower. It will not take it lying down. It won't be slapped in the face and, brought in, humiliated to a negotiating table and so on and so forth. So the regime is quite stubborn. And I think the 87-year-old supreme leader thinks his past is behind him. And now with much of Iran is laying in ruin around him, I don't think he has much to lose. And he's not about to back down to please Trump or Netanyahu. So clearly the Iranians are ready for the long run. And clearly now Netanyahu and Trump feeling more and more that they need to continue. Otherwise, they're going to look like idiots if they don't. So it's not looking very good unless the Russians, the Chinese, I don't know, unless the Europeans, unless someone put their foot down, it's not looking very good.
No, it is a concerning situation. There's a big risk of further escalation.
Sales of previously owned American homes unexpectedly rose in May, but sales remained at relatively low levels amid high mortgage rates and elevated home prices. The National Association of Realtors said on Monday that U.S. existing home sales climbed 0.8% last month, after falling 0.5% in April. Still, the sales pace was the slowest for the month of May since 2009. The chief economist of the National Association of Realtors blamed the weakness on persistently high mortgage rates. The average rate on the popular 30-year fixed-rate mortgage has hovered just under 7% this year. President Donald Trump's aggressive tariffs on imported goods have heightened uncertainty over the economy, which the Federal Reserve has responded to by pausing its interest rate cutting cycle. But Fed policymaker Michelle Bowman on Monday expressed an openness to cutting rates at the July meeting in the text of a speech she was set to give. The supply of existing homes on the market jumped 20% from a year ago, and the median price of a previously owned home rose 1.3% from 2024 to $422,800 in May, an all-time high for the month.
AI firm DeepSeek is aiding China's military and intelligence operations, a senior US official has told Reuters, adding that the Chinese tech startup sought to use Southeast Asian shell companies to access high-end semiconductors that cannot be shipped to China under US rules. Hangzhou-based DeepSeek sent shockwaves through the technology world in January. It claimed its AI reasoning models were on par with or better than US industry-leading models, and at a fraction of the cost. The US government's assessment of DeepSeek's activities and links to the Chinese government have not been previously reported, and they come amid a wide-scale US-China trade war. Among the allegations, the official said DeepSeek is sharing user information and statistics with Beijing's surveillance apparatus. Chinese law requires companies operating in China to provide data to the government when requested. But the suggestion that DeepSeek is already doing so could raise privacy concerns for the firm's tens of millions of daily global users. US lawmakers have previously said DeepSeek transmits American users' data to China through back-end infrastructure connected to China Mobile, a Chinese state-owned telecommunications giant. DeepSeek did not respond to questions about its privacy practices.
You were listening to the WINN FM 98.9 newscast. Our top stories were:
the Nevis Mango Festival returns in 2025 with increased momentum from the 2024 hosting.
New pension plan under fire. Harris calls it unfair at recent town hall. Embezzlement charge laid against Bird Rock resident. Lawson Hendrickson, convicted of grievous bodily harm with intent, receives suspended sentence.
A region united in celebration. The OECS marks 44 years of regional unity with reflection, movement, and community spirit across OECS member states under the theme Adapting, Innovating, Sustaining, a unified OECS for a changing world.
Internationally, Iran has fired a salvo of missiles in Qatar, targeting the U.S. airbase situated in the country.
Thank you for listening.